So there's 12 heavens here that could be seen and observed and accessed. And this is where you even go back into history, because the history isn't the true history either. You go back into history of, let's just say, the flood or the reset or the fall of man. At one point, this entirety of this entire construct was open to all of these beings. Here, this is where you get all the history. Everything's here. And all this stuff was shut off due to the fall. This is where you get the war in heaven, the war of the earthly realm. The giants, putrefied giants, the remains of them. The giant chopped down trees here. Even in Australia, the big Uluru was once a giant tree. So even the history has been rewritten to take the human here so far away from the truth where they don't even know it anymore. And when I talk about that this place was heaven, all of the heavens were opened up, everything was here. This is where you get the pyramids, this is where you get the cathedrals, this is where you get the organic technology, the will of the soul here. We can't even reproduce the structures, the things that they've built, which was all based on also electromagnetic fields, harnessing the ether, harnessing the electromagnetic field within the environment of the entirety of this construct, the free energy, the tools that they would use, which was to enhance their natural abilities in their electromagnetic field for their own gifts as well. And just to show you the vastness of the capability of that time, when you look into travel in the time of the pyramids, I'll say, they were able to, through frequency and through the stargates as well, teleport their physical bodies to different locations within this realm. You'll hear stories of this. They're able to predict time. How were they able to predict time? Because they were accessing the potentialities of time as well. This is where you even get into the technology that's called Project Looking Glass with even inside the government agencies. They've also used versions of looking through potentialities of time. But all this they were doing back then as well, and even far greater than what we could ever produce now. Your soul, when you're out of your body, you have access to potentialities of time also. And so a lot of the history that we're given is rewritten history in order to suppress the true knowledge. Even targeting the Vatican too, and it's outside of my body, a lot of the original texts underneath the tunnels of the Vatican are actually there too. They have an entire library of information that is not even presented to the people. And there are certain places within the entirety of this realm, they've tried to destroy a lot of the original texts, a lot of the original writings, a lot of the original structures as well that were still active. And so when people talk about the galactic war, the fall, the fallen angels, the mud floods, the flood, all of this was happening at the exact same time. These weren't separate events. They were one event. The war in heaven, all one event, all happening at the exact same time. And so the last reset of this place, I would say, is maximum 2,000 years ago. And I'll leave it just 2,000 years, so I'm not stretching it people too far here. And this is where you get the fall of man, the fallen angels. So when you look at the disappearing civilization, Egypt, Atlantis, what people call Tartaria as well, what I said before, in that time event, this entire construct universe was open. You get all of the angels coming to the earthly realm. You get all of what's considered gods to the earthly realm. All of the entities, all beings and races through the 12 heavens were here. And so when the fall happened, the only thing that happened is they went back to, you could say, their stations, their kingdoms. And some of them have not. Some of them has actually stayed here. Some of them have been here. You even go into Antarctica. This is where they have the Antarctic Treaty, where every country is signed up to the Antarctic Treaty to make sure that you cannot explore those places. Because when you explore Antarctica, you will see that a lot of the pyramid structures are there, and a lot of the original bodies are there too. A lot of the original technology was there of projecting the soul from the physical body into other bodies, other forms as well. So a lot of the beings and races are still here. This is where biblically you go into the fallen ones. And the rest of them have just went back to the other realms, the other places. And most of the races look like humans. Even when you look at angels, they look like humans.